Hi, this is John Ondo from Marketing Media and Cupcakes. And before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. We're back after being gone for over 4.5 years. And I hope you get a chance to listen to episode 77, where we explain why we were gone for so long and that we're back for at least 3 more episodes. Angel and I are big supporters of entrepreneurship, and we love small businesses and faith-based businesses. And we just want to encourage you through our podcast each week. What's going to determine if we continue with more episodes will be the response. Subscribe to us on your platform. Send us an email at john@ondomedia.com. That would help us know you're listening and you want more episodes. So thank you so much, and let's get into today's episode. Every job is essential. So
Yes.
if you are in a hospital, you need that guy or lady who does the coffee or makes the donuts. So everybody's job is essential.
This is the small business podcast that is sweeter than all the rest. Marketing, media, and cupcakes.
Welcome to episode 44 of Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes. Hello, I'm John Ondo. Along with me is my beautiful wife, Angel.
Hi there.
We are a podcast that helps and supports small businesses, and we want to encourage you, even though this is just one of the worst years ever.
It is definitely it has turned out to be the roaring 20s for sure.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Well, I mean, I'm sure somewhere back in history during the Crusades and stuff, there were probably worse years than this.
I dare say there were some worse years in the Crusade
I
era.
think their internet was probably not as good as what we have.
I dare say no.
And computers were huge back then.
They filled this room.
They filled the room. Well, we have a very special interview coming up on today's show. There was a video that was debuted just 48 hours ago on YouTube that's already received 1 million hits. What's the video about? It's a parody of the old Laverne and Shirley Open, but it's set to the state of Ohio and the COVID press conferences that we have here.
I love the ingenuity of folks saying, I need to find something to do, use the art that I am comfortable with and know and love, and they just made something that's going to be memorable way beyond all of this.
I just really want to say I really appreciate those of you, obviously you're listening now during a time when things are just combobulated. Most podcasts, and we were talking with Buzzsprout and some of the folks that are doing podcast stats, most podcasts have taken a big hit. And it's kind of surprising. You think, well, people are home, they're on the internet, they don't have anything to do. But because they're not in their cars, they're not at the gyms, a lot of podcasts have dropped their listeners. Their numbers are way down. And we did have a little dip at the front. But we actually are getting stronger. So I want to just say to those of you who are tuning in, maybe for the first time or finding us, we're just so happy that you're with us and you've stuck with us. And we want to keep giving you great shows, great encouragement for small business, for families, for life in general. We want to invest in you. And if you want to share something on the show, we're going to have some more great guests on. And we'll give you more of some ideas of what we're going to have coming up here in a little bit. But first, we're coming to you from Columbus, Ohio, and Ohio has been very aggressive since the beginning about the COVID outbreak. Governor DeWine and his chief health officer, Dr. Amy Atkin, have a press conference every day. Governor DeWine is a great guy, and he's very soft-spoken. Dr. Atkin is a mom, and she's very compassionate, talking about the importance of this whole time that we're spending at home. And they've developed quite a following on social media. It's almost like a soap opera. So up in Stowe, Ohio, which is just south of Cleveland, an animator and a web designer by the name of David Stockfa decided he wanted to create kind of a fun video that was set to the tune of Laverne and Shirley's theme song about these press conferences. And he did that. It launched, and they already have 1 million hits. So we're going to talk to Dave Stockfa about his video and how he created it. You can see his video. I have the YouTube link in the show notes, and you can also see our interview on our Facebook page and also on YouTube. The links are also in the show notes. But for those of you listening right now, we're going to play the song and then come right back out with the interview with Dave.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 feet apart. Stay home. Stay home. How's about we coordinate it?
We're gonna do it. Give us any cure, we'll take it. Offer us your hand, won't shake it. We're gonna make those things pull through. Doing it all right. Nothing's gonna make us work now. 'Cause we're flat flattening the curve now. We're gonna see a state pull through. Do it our way. There's nothing we won't close. Restaurants and universities, playgrounds, salons, shopping malls. We're gonna do it. On your mark and stay there now. Leave enough to spare us way now. We're gonna make our state pull through. And we'll do it our way, yes, our way. See all our states roll through. And we'll do it our way, yes, our way. Make all our dreams come true. For me and you.
So I am talking with the team that's created this viral video, and as of this moment, it's over 500,000 views on YouTube. As a Buckeye and an Ohioan, this was really fun because everything we see every afternoon is these press conferences. So Dave Stofka is up in Stowe, Ohio, which is kind of south of Cleveland in that area. And Dave and his team are joining me today to talk about the viral video of DeWine and Amy. Dave, thanks so much for joining us, everybody.
Thanks. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so the first question I have is, with this kind of a project, what came first? Did you think, this would be a Laverne and Shirley parody, or did you have the animation in your head first? How did this start?
Well, to be honest, it started just as something to fill my time. I'm a freelancer, and my work kind of dried up about 3 weeks ago. And I don't know that it was necessarily coronavirus related. I mean, I have busy and slow times all the time. So, but the difference was there's all this bad news in the world and not being able to go anywhere and plans being canceled. So I told my wife I desperately needed to find something creative to just take my mind off things so I didn't spiral into anxiety.
But you've been watching these press conferences, and for people who aren't living in Ohio who don't see these press conferences happen every day, and they're typically with our lieutenant governor, our governor, and then Dr. Amy Atkin. Did you start seeing this kind of being an animated thing? Because I have great respect for Governor DeWine, but he does have kind of a cartoon character appeal to him, doesn't he?
I'm a huge fan of Saturday Night Live, and I know if we were on the air right now, we'd be seeing sketches with them and that sort of thing. And not to make, I guess to make fun, but make light of everything. But I don't know. At some point, I guess I was just amazed looking at people's reactions on Facebook. I saw so many people who would show their schedules with their kids that they're trying to homeschool, and they'd take a break at 2:00 for their time for the press conference, and families would watch together, and people would have wine with DeWine or snacking with Acton, I think, and so it was just a phenomenon. And at some point, I thought, gosh, all they need is a theme song, and they're just like a sitcom or something that everybody tunes into. And I thought, I don't know. A couple theme songs came into my head, and as soon as I thought of Laverne and Shirley, my mind was bombarded with all these visual ideas and fun things you could do to comparing the two, and it just snowballed.
Laverne and Shirley is probably number 2 behind the Mary Tyler Moore theme song to me. So it's a great one. It's an uplifting one. Obviously, when you're doing this type of production with the animation, video has to follow audio, so you had to get the song recorded. Talk me through the process, and Alyssa is with us, who does the vocals. Kind of walk me through the process of how that song became part of the icon here.
My contribution to the process was pretty minimal. Dave had already created this entire thing that I didn't know anything about, and he contacted me and asked me if I would be interested in singing something for something he created. I know if there's a Stofka involved, it's going to be pretty awesome, whatever it is. So I immediately said yes. He said, I think it's going to be in your range. It's just something kind of fun. And he sent me the lyric sheet, and he sent me the video that he had created thus far. And immediately I knew that it was going to be huge. And I jumped at the opportunity to record it. And I'm glad I did. So it was a pretty simple process. I recorded it on an app. at home. And so we practiced the social distancing to collaborate on this project. We were never even in the same building. And I sent it to him and he worked his magic.
Dave, how long ago did this begin? Because obviously I know from animation does not happen in like 24, 72 hours.
No, I think it was about 3 weeks ago now. So a little under 3 weeks of total time from when I got the crazy idea and started working on it to when it launched.
Jessica, you were in on all this. What was your take on this when he when he started coming up with this?
Well, if you know Dave, you know he's creative and he has ideas all the time. So he often will run ideas past the kids and I, and we'll veto things or But this one was so hilarious, and we were on board right away and spent a lot of time watching his work in progress and making comments and contributions, and the kids were really helpful. They have no idea what Laverne and Shirley is, so that's we watched the original opening with them so that they could weigh in. So it was definitely a family. Well, he did all the work, but we definitely had some input, good and bad, I guess.
They definitely they're my best critics. They'll say if something like, "Dad, that's not funny," or "Dad, I think you should do this."
Dave and John, did you both kind of work on the lyrics together? And tell me how that process worked. Were there things you what were the nuggets out of these? These are press conferences. There's nothing exciting about them. It's like we're shutting it down. We're locking you up. Governor DeWine's a great guy, but I noticed in the animation he has a decaf coffee. He doesn't have a caffeinated coffee because he's very low energy. And then there's a whole, like you mentioned, there's a whole group of people who are in love with Dr. Atkin because she's a mom and she communicates very well and is very empathetic. So what were some of the nuggets you guys wanted to see in these lyrics and then maybe even in the animation that you wanted to get across? Like this, these are the gotta haves.
Well, Dave's talked to me about it about a couple of weeks ago and mentioned the project that he was working on. And he and I go way back, even to elementary school. We were friends back then. And we were both fans of 70s classic TV, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley. So I knew right away, what he meant when he talked about it, because it is an iconic opening. And of course, it's a song that is a pretty short, rhyming scheme. So, basically, as far as my part was, I just kind of helped brainstorm some things that could be included. Some of the phrases that come out of the press conference, like flattening the curve and that kind of thing that could tie in. And that was pretty much all that I did, was just kind of maybe let him bounce some ideas off me and encourage him to go for it.
Let me jump in. The very first lyric, John, that you told me that really clicked with me was "Offer us your hand, won't shake it," and then that gelled with, there's that scene where they're clocking into the State House, like that's what they would do, and there's a security guard who offers his hand, and so that kind of spurred, more ideas. But that initial one was very crucial. It also, we were very careful. We went back and forth on text a lot with trying to find just the right lyrics, and we didn't want to offend. We didn't want to be too, over the top, I guess.
It was not offensive, and it was fun, and it was lighthearted. Have you heard anything from the governor's office yet?
No. Heard from a couple people in the State House press corps, so it's close to him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have not heard yet, though. I wouldn't read too much into it. I wanted it to be silly and give people a positive feeling. There is so much doom and gloom, and it's very easy in life, not just for these epic tragedies like we're living through right now, but daily life. It's easy to focus on the negative, and it takes a little bit more work to find humor in things. And so I guess I just wanted to make people laugh.
I think you accomplished it, and I encourage when if as people pull this up on YouTube, take the time to scan it frame by frame, and pick it apart because, like I said, I picked up the whole caffeinated coffee and the Java thing with at the beginning. What am I? I don't know what it is because I've been to our state house here in Columbus many times with the kids and. The lieutenant governor doing the twirl over the granite floor with the Ohio in it. Little details like that are just very impressive because I know the state house, I know the details. Obviously, you did, and you took the time to make it really, just not something you threw together. It has that type of detail. What are some of the things that maybe the person just watching through that real quickly wouldn't catch, but some of the details you really like when you scan through and go, oh, I really like what I did there.
Well, I'll tell you, this morning I was tickled. There's a little scene in there, a fictional scene where I have DeWine like on a giant demonstration of flattening the curve. And in the corner, there's a little sign that says COSI on wheels. And if you're probably familiar, COSI is a science museum in Columbus. And this morning I saw on Facebook that they spotted the logo and they were proud of that, and they shared the video, and that just tickled me. We took our kids to COSI ever since they were little, and that was my little homage to them.
10 years from now, I don't think anybody's going to watch through the press conferences, but somebody's going to pull up this video and say, do you remember the 2020 corona crisis in that video they made in Ohio? Just kind of going through maybe Jonathan and Jessica and Lisa, you could just give me your quick thoughts and I'll wrap up with Dave in a second.
I think it's the feel good quality. I mean, I have warm memories of Laverne and Shirley, and of course tying that in with what we need right now is just a great connection. And as I was reading many of the comments wherever this was posted, that seemed to be the number one thing. People would see it and just have a warm feeling about it. And I think that's beautiful that Dave was able to do that in the midst of what we're going through.
First of all, I hope I can someday get the song out of my head. That would be, and no offense, Alyssa, it's not your version. No. It's the original. And I just want to say this has been so funny because the kids and I with Dave were just like, ooh, maybe the governor will see it. We had no idea, that this would blow up like this. I mean, it's a lesson in social media, and be careful what you share because look what can happen, good or bad. So, but yeah, it's been really fun the past 24 hours. So
I bet. Elisa, what's your thoughts?
I'm just honored to be a part of it. Everything that the Safkas do is phenomenal. They're just really great people. They're the kind of people that are always fun to be around. So to have Dave do something that creates so much joy for so many people and to play any small role in that is an honor. It's bringing a lot of people a lot of happiness at a time that, it's kind of hard to find sometimes. So yeah, well, pretty cool.
Dave, before I let you kind of do a take home here, tell me about your company, where people can find out more about it.
StafkaCreative.com. And, I'm sure if you see the video, you'll find a link to it not very far. And I do web development and animation. Web development has been my bread and butter, but so many people do web development, and animation's a little bit more niche. So, and that's something I just adore. I have so much fun doing these projects. So,
Dave, 15 years, 20 years from now, somebody's at a party and they're like, "What do you do?" And you have to go back to, "I did the DeWine and Amy cartoon." Is that okay with you as a career? Is this okay if this is your career high point?
Oh yeah, I've loved doing what I do. I've done a lot of small client work, and I try to make every client happy with what I do, and that it brings me satisfaction. I'm tickled that so many people are finding happiness in this, and during this difficult time.
Since the beginning of the year, we have been talking about not letting fear take over. And this was before we even knew there was going to be a coronavirus. We just felt a lot of people were living in fear and worried about things and taking risks in small business. And then the coronavirus thing hit, and we've been encouraging people when things go down, something comes up, and if you can look for opportunities, amazing things may happen. And I think what you and your kind of team and family there have done. You've made a bad situation into a great opportunity, and I hope when things kick back up, it pays off in droves, because you brought a lot of happiness to the folks here in Ohio, and I think across the country as they learn what's going on. So congratulations on a fun piece there.
Thank you very much.
That was a lot of fun to talk with that group, and Dave, you could just tell he has a heart for animation and fun, and you can tell he's kind of like me, that he's not really wired to be in fear or to be bored.
Yeah, he definitely, I mean, that's what I thought was great, listening to he and his wife, and then his really good friend that he's known, which I thought was great since elementary school, and the lovely lady who just nailed the song so perfectly.
It's so great. Elisa did a great job doing that.
She nailed it. Now, the only unfortunate thing is, of course, that's stuck in my head now all the time. It's a great song. I know the original tune backwards and forwards.
So Angel has a side business that is Angel's Custom Cupcakes, hence why we are marketing media and cupcakes. Of course, that's on a hiatus right now, but her full-time job is customer service with a major company that is heavily involved right now with defeating the coronavirus. And she's been working at home. So how has this whole working from home thing working? You seem more stressed.
Well, I think, unfortunately, the reality of the business that I'm in full-time and this, we are definitely a big major player in what's going on, and, having a positive impact in supplying different things. It's just because everybody needs something right now.
Right.
And there's only so much in the supply chain, and there's only so many of us.
But I noticed when we were talking about this yesterday, you were frustrated. You were waiting. You had a contract or something that had to happen, and you were waiting for approval, and somebody that you probably could have just walked down a couple cubicles and smacked on the back of the head wasn't on or doing something, and it was causing you frustration. So it does feel like, and you're not the only person I've heard this from. A lot of people are saying, I don't like this being out of the loop or being at home. Is that how you're feeling a little bit?
I personally, so this is week 4. I normally only get to work from home one day a week, and we're now into week 4 of working from home straight. I still am the most productive that I could ever possibly hope to imagine while being at home, because I'm not getting up. I'm just not wasting time. I'm not having other people waste my time.
Are there less meetings now?
I've had almost none. Now, I know other people, unfortunately, who they are in nothing but meetings, because there's got to be conversations about this, priorities and things of that nature. My job right now, I've been a firefighter. Yeah. I mean, I'm literally a firefighter on the front lines, and and today it felt kind of calm. I was like, okay, this is okay. I can get some. And then at 3:30, it unraveled. And finally at 6:00, I had to shut it down and said, it'll be there tomorrow. Yeah. There's not much else I can do. So I love working from home, but to John's point, that collaborativeness that I can have where I can go grab a couple of people and we can hash something out really quick. Now I have to get them on Skype. I have to make sure the other person's available. We all have to be, and I type the same message 10 times trying to get my point across. And yet, had I just been able to pick up the phone or tell them face to face, they would have understood much faster.
I know a lot of people are saying it's not going to go back to the way it was. And I'm getting really tired of some people's attitudes that it's like, paradise is over and your life's going to suck from now on. No, I think it will be better.
Yes.
I think some businesses are going to sit back and say, Angel, you do better from home. And if you'd like to stay home, we can justify that. And do you, as somebody else, Bob, do you want to keep working in the building because you like getting out of the house? And yes. And I think with school, I think we need to analyze this. It's been a wonderful opportunity, I think, to say some people, I think, do work better from home. And some people do better in a business, an organization, in a school. But some don't, and I think this might give us the ability for the first time to say, which are you? And instead of shoving everybody through the sausage maker the same way.
Yeah, everyone keeps talking about, I can't wait till it to go back to normal. I can't wait. And I'm sorry, anyone who thinks it's going to go back to normal. It is never going to be normal again. What our world has just experienced, what our country, our city, our state has just gone through, we will never be normal again. It will be, as I fondly refer to it, a new normal.
And I think that's how we need to address it. I think even in how we're saying some of these things is fearful and wrong, people say we're not going to go back to normal. Well, things weren't really that great 6 months ago either. So let's just see this as an opportunity we've been able to hit reset and reboot the entire way we do business work in a digital age. We've really never embraced this. So for the chance for people to sit back and say, I want to work from home from now on because I'm better and productive, or I need to work from work because I'm better and more productive. This is great. Please don't say, we're not going to go back to normal. No, we're going to go back to a better normal is what I'm going to encourage.
I would agree.
You at your home or whatever. This is going to be a better normal. So let's spin this positive. The other thing, and this is, again, a little bit of a pet gripe, and I hope that somebody somewhere who has the authority to change the wording, I'm really frustrated with the word essential and non-essential work.
Yeah.
And let me just we have family, we have friends who are in the front lines at hospitals.
Yes.
You have people who are working at your business that are loading trucks and doing things, and they have no choice. Because they are essential.
Correct.
But I don't like the word essential and non-essential, because technically I'm non-essential, and nobody wants to be called, or their jobs be called, non-essential.
Exactly. It's not a self-esteem builder.
No, it is not. It is, every job is essential. So if you are in a hospital, you need that guy or lady who does the coffee or makes the donuts. Mm-hmm. So everybody's job is essential. I would just suggest that people who are out there, the medical workers, God bless you all, and everybody who's the law enforcement, you are on the front line, and you are on call, and you're doing your
first
gig.
Responders. I mean, go back to what was what was coined back in 9/11. You're the first responders. You're the ones who have to deal with it. Those poor people have to stand there and deal with the general public too.
They're on the front lines in the sense that they have a higher risk of getting this thing. So yes, they're on the front lines, but no one is non-essential.
Yeah.
So again, for those of you, if you're listening, if you have some ability in your job or in government or in something, to change that optic of saying non-essential workers, your job is non-essential. I've had people say, well, your job, your business is non-essential. That's insulting.
It's essential to us.
The whole reason that we do our job is to help everyone, and just because we're not in contact, that doesn't mean we're not essential. So that's my little pet peeve. So maybe if we sprout it here within the family of marketing, media, and cupcakes, let's just say, hey, those are frontline workers. But everybody's job is essential. Everybody's purpose is essential, and that's just something coming from a guy who is in an essential position, I guess.
So now let me remove the soapbox, and we shall wrap it up.
Yes. So here's what's going on next week. Next week on the show, we're bringing Rob Yannock back in.
Oh, Rob was such an encouragement.
Who had his grandbaby. He's very excited. But cannot hold him yet.
No, I saw the sad little pictures of him looking through a window at him.
But
my heart.
Here's what I want to talk to Rob about. Rob has lost a stream of income because one of his non-essential jobs got cut.
Yep.
And I want to talk to him about how we as parents need to talk to our kids about this whole thing. How do we deal them in? Because one thing I realized not that long ago when I was explaining this to my kids is that all my kids, they're all post 9/11. This is their first big crisis. And how do I tell them, you know what? We can't go out and do things this year because I don't have the money coming in. It's going to be okay. So Rob is really good at this. So we're going to ask him some questions. So if you're a parent and you're thinking, oh, how should I use this as a teaching moment for my kids when they have whatever crisis happens in 2043 or whatever happens next?
Yep.
Rob's going to give us some advice. Again, if you want to find out more about what we do, Angel's Custom Cupcakes, unfortunately not doing a whole lot, but if you want to look at cupcake pictures, you can look at hers.
Yep.
Ondo Media is my video production company, and if you are still interested in doing podcast production, we have I will do a 30-minute coaching session for free for anyone who's interested in wanting to talk to me about your podcast. So if you're interested in that, john@ondomedia.com, and that's part of our premier podcast company that we have. We want you to speak with purpose. So until we see you next time, keep living the dream.
Connect with John and Angel via Facebook and Instagram and let us know your thoughts. Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes is a production of Ondo Media.